Hello, second graders. So on my last video, I talked to you about that I'm going to be making a video for your story maps that you are going to be completing in your lessons for ELA. I believe you're completing it in Module 5, Lesson 2. So let me start to share my screen and give you a little more detail. So you're going to be completing a story map. You have done plenty of these, so you should know kind of how to complete them. But I wanted to talk to you about the prompts. So there is a prompt on the top of your story map that says that you may write a story about a character who moves to a new neighborhood and who is different from that neighborhood. So what I want you to do first is to choose a character. It can be whoever, whatever you would like. It can be an animal, it can be a person, it can be honestly anything that you would like to do. Then I want you to decide what you would like to make your story about. So you have two options. One, you can just simply write about this character moving to a new neighborhood. That's it. Or you can write about this character moving to a new neighborhood and how they might be a little different from their other neighbors. Be sure in your writing to include how it goes, what they do, and how they're feeling, because I think regardless, if a character is moving to a new neighborhood, they might have some feelings about it. And I want you to make sure to include those in your writing, and also to include or try to include those adjectives and maybe those alliterations that I talked about on the last video. So you have two options of what you would like to write about. I'm giving you the freedom to choose which one you'd like to do, what one seems easier fit for you, and what one might be the better choice for you. So now I would like to show you my example and go through my example of the story map that I did. So this is my story map. So like I said, you can choose just to simply talk about a character who has moved to a new neighborhood, or you can include that this character is different from the other people in the neighborhood. So in this first box, you are going to include the characters that will be in your story. You can have as many characters as you want. If you simply want to have just the character moving to the new neighborhood, that is perfect. But you will add that character to this box. So maybe what the character is or their name. So I chose to write a story about a dolphin and a seahorse. So my dolphin, Marlin, is going to be my main character. He is the character who is moving to a new neighborhood. Also in my story, I was going to include Marlin's mom, because she might be a big help with how he's feeling about moving to a new neighborhood. And then also Marlin's new friend that he eventually meets, who is his seahorse friend named Jimmy. Then in this box over here, I want you to include where your story is going to be taking place. What is the setting? It can be in one specific place or it can be in multiple. So I chose to do the sea and the coral reef, because my dolphin friend Marlin is going to be starting in his old home that is in the sea, and he moves across the sea to a coral reef where he doesn't really know the place very well. Now down here, this is simply just putting your thoughts onto the paper. So it does not have to be a complete sentence. It does not have to be a lot of words. It can simply be one word, or it can be 2 to 3 words. It doesn't matter. It doesn't need to be a lot of detail. It just needs to be your thoughts about what you think you're going to be including in your story down on a piece of paper. So if you simply just want to include just the first parts that I did, you can do that and call that good. But I added just a few more details to the bottom, not in complete sentences, but just so I can remember that I want these things in my story too. So remember your transition words up here. This is what you're going to be using in your story. So first I put their home at sea. That's all I need to put, because I know that I'm going to be writing about Marlin and his mom being at their first home. In my first part of my story, Mom gets the news that they might have to move, and I include Marlin's feeling a little nervous about it. Next, I know that I'm going to be talking about them moving. So if you know that that's what you want to do, you can simply just include the word moving. You don't need to add these details. I just put them there so I can remember. So I know that next I'm going to be talking about them moving. I know that they're moving from one side of the sea to the complete opposite by this coral reef that he has no idea what it is. And I included Marlin's feelings. He's sad and he is scared. Then is Marlin's first day at his new school. So if that's all you want to put in your story map, that's all you have to do. But like I said, I added just a few more details so I can remember. So at his first day, there's only one other dolphin friend at this school, and the rest are seahorses. So he's not really sure how well he might get along with these other seahorse friends. And last, the other dolphin doesn't want to be friends with Marlin, and Marlin gets sad and he wants to move home. But this is when I introduce my new seahorse friend, Jimmy, because that becomes Marlin's new friend. So I know that that's what I'm going to be wanting to talk about when I do my clean copy and I add all those awesome details. So that is simply all you have to do for your story map. It can have as much detail as you want it to, or it can have as much little detail as you want it to, just as long as you know what things you want to add more details to and add to that clean copywriting when it comes to it. But second graders, have fun with this story because it can be about whatever you want regarding a character moving to a new neighborhood or a character moving to a new neighborhood who is a little different from his other neighbors. I want to give you that prompt so you can have a starting point of where you're writing, but I want you to make up in your head and use your awesome imaginations about the rest of it, all those fill-in details that you'll need to do. So as always, second graders, if you have help, always please ask me. And I always just like doing these videos just to kind of give you a better idea of what I might be looking for and to show you how I would do it so you kind of have a reference in case you get stuck. So I hope this helps, and I'm super excited to see what you come up with for these story maps. Bye for now, second graders.